All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Dan Anderson wishing you very, very welcome on this webinar. I see that we have very healthy numbers on today, and that's just nice to see. This is, as you know, if you're one of our old friends, our weekly pulse beat of Leo, where we inform you what's going on and just share with you updates and news. And I take this very, very seriously because it's important to communicate and communicate transparently and honestly what's going on in the business. So we have had, I think it's fair to say that Leo is now in an absolutely pivotal period of its life. We're sort of in one of these moments of before and after. Our focus is the cruise in the China Sea, which is kind of a month away now, sort of 4 weeks, a little bit over, and that's the time when we are launching the great and the grand reset of our business. Not the relaunch or not the restart, but just the reset of going back to basics, going back to where we want to be, going back to the original business vision, and creating programs and tools to help you build a network. I think that we need to remind ourselves a little bit about what business that we're in, and that is the direct selling business where we can build a global, a large and vast network, and we're going to give you the tools to do that. These times of difficulties, obviously, we are facing, and I have to say that I'm touched by how much support I've had and how many people have reached out to me and says that we are with you, Dan, we are behind Leo, we believe in this, and we're going to fight till the very end together. And I think that's one of the main values of a tough time. It teaches you and shows you who's who in the zoo, and I think that there's a natural way that you kind of see people, the people who are part of the next wave of growth. They're not the people that created the previous wave of growth, and it never is. And we see people who kind of make it known and declare themselves for what they're in the game and the business for, and there's some very disappointing things there where I've had people said that the only thing I was ever interested in was a passive income, and I'm going, fine, we have an obligation to give you something, but even the minuscule matching bonus qualifications that we put in was a problem for this person, and he's going to leave the business, and it is what it is, fine. So the other thing that is really heartening is to see how much love and how much appreciation and how much support there is out there, and there are so many people that I could thank personally and by name, and one day I will do that, and I will do that face to face with you, probably on the Hong Kong cruise, actually. So fine, but it is what it is. The value of tough times is that you see who stand with you and you see who stand against you. And there's a bit of madness going on, and of course I understand that, and I'm very sympathetic to that, because you've all sort of seen companies get into difficulty, and what you've never seen is a company like Leo who's prepared to fight and fight and fight and fight through the challenges that we faced. And we've faced challenges like this many times over the past, and it is what it is. But it's also nice to see that our mature leaders understand that, and they reach out and they do everything they can to help and drive the business forward. So it's very gratifying to see how many people follow and how many people believe and how many people are doing their level best to support the company, and that's just absolutely fantastic. We have some madness going on with people encouraging people to contact the cruise liner to verify that they are booked. Every single person who's going on the cruise by this point, I'm informed, will have received a confirmation letter from the cruise liner and the cruise company. And again, just to reassure you, that is all paid for. It's all done. There's nothing further that needs to be created or driven for there. So that is going ahead 100%. There's absolutely no issue, and that is the big opportunity for me to speak with the leaders and move our business to the next level. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. But in the meanwhile, I have a meeting that I have to dash off to, so I apologize, but I'm going to hand the microphone over to one or both of Mihir Magudia and or Andy Hansen, who's going to take the call. It's a very short webinar today. We're just going through some 10 points and just reminding you about where the incentives sit, etc. So there's some changes there, and I look forward to speaking to you again next Monday, at which point we will have some fairly interesting news for you on some new product development and some new changes that we're making. All good, and you'll be delighted about it. I'm working together with field leaders on these things, so this will be something that will really inspire you and move you to the next level. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to the next speaker.
Hello, hello. Thanks, Dan, and thanks for jumping in on the call despite the meeting you're running off too. Always helpful to have that update. So this is Mihiran Magudia, delighted as always to be on the call. I had a week of holiday with my family last week, which was an absolute delight, but delighted to be back and full of energy for it as well. So this week's call has got a few bits and pieces about 10-10-10. It's got some stuff about Leo Coin, and I've missed you too, thank you very much. It's got some bits about Leo Coin and all that sort of stuff, but I kind of want to talk a bit more generally about where we are and what's going on. Now, we have been absolutely stunned by the response in some markets to the 10-10-10 launch. And the number of new members we're engaging with, the number of new people coming to the business and asking questions is quite gratifying, because what we have there is a new team of people, a new, I don't have the numbers to hand, but tens and tens of thousands of people who are kind of just understanding Leo, just understanding the business that they've joined, just getting to know their uplines a bit better, getting to know the people in their teams a bit better, understanding the difference between bronze and gold and the various ranks and what's going on, because these are very, very fresh people to the business. And that's quite an exciting place to be, because if you think about a 10-10-10 person, someone who's joined on that basis hasn't probably done all of their research, hasn't really understood the whole company yet, hasn't done the things that someone who is joining with one of the starter packs or the VIP pack or the business pack would have done, because the 10-10-10 is such a no-brainer decision to make. And so now we have all of these fresh faces, all of these fresh minds, all of these fresh people we can work with and really build the next stage of our business. Now, Jeff, you can just sort of cycle through the slides as I go, really. But Dan's talked a lot about Hong Kong. He's talked a lot about the cruises coming up. I'm incredibly excited about it. We've filled up that theatre in that boat. I think we've got even more people than were there last year. And it really is a very, very special place to be. It's this 30, actually, I may be overstating. It's at least sort of 20 or 30 stories high, this boat. And I remember we got off at the pier before we got on the boat, and you look up and you're standing beside it and you cannot see the top of it. And I remember I was there with so many of our Asia Pacific members, our entire Filipino team was there. We had some people from the Dubai region as well, and a few other places were able to make the trip as well. And so what we're going to do there, as Dan talked about, is kind of kickstart the next level of Leo. I know it's summer. I know for many of you it's just been Eid. I know there's time to sleep and there's time to rest and there's time to catch up with family. In Finland, I know it's time to be enjoying the endless sunny days where the sun barely sets. And I get all of that. But what I guess the message for this is, this call would be, keep pushing the 10-10-10. These new people are coming to our business, which is very, very exciting. They get emails from us as soon as they join. We start the progress of their upgrade. We've got a number of incentives running to kind of push that upgrade through, to make it easier for every single one of you to make them into full Leo members, or make them bronze. I guess they are Leo members, to make them bronze or silver or gold or platinum or whatever. That stuff is kind of going on, and the gear up for that is we want to hit that weekend on the cruise with a huge amount of momentum, a huge amount of new members, and essentially this great big swell of people that we can represent the business to, that we can represent the opportunity to, and that we can re-show this amazing thing they've joined, because they probably are only just starting to understand it by the end, by sort of the start of the cruise event. So, I mean, it's very, very simple. You get the member in, you talk to them about the business, you get them on the CDP, get them excited about social entrepreneurship, get them excited about changing the world, get them excited about educating children with the some of the poorest and least advantaged children in the world, and then get them into LeoCoin, get them into the LMS, get them into whatever it is that's working in your market, whatever it is you think would be of most use to help them build their business and build their teams. So there are extra bonuses going on right now, but as always, they are time limited. If you missed out on the first one, don't miss out on the second one. You really will kick yourself, because if these people are going to upgrade anyway, if they're going to upgrade, why not upgrade to their own greatest advantage? Why not upgrade at the best possible time to it? Now is the time to move. We want to build up momentum, build those members, build those people into the business, so that when Dan is in Hong Kong on the cruise, we can present them with something exciting, something they didn't even know they'd joined, something that can change their business and change their future forever. So it's a very, very, very exciting time to be part of the Leo family. Things are kind of, as Dan said, it's kind of who's who in the zoo. Who are the people who are going to change the world with us? Who are the people who are going to work with us in this time? And who are the people who are going to be with us in Hong Kong to understand what it is we're going to do next, to understand the power of this business that we have? So I wanted to talk a bit more about LeoCoin as well. So we can pause on this one for a moment, Jeff. As you all know, the migration happened, well, quite some time ago now. So many of you have switched over. So many are registered for staking at leocoin.org. And what's great about this version of the LeoCoin, this Ethereum version of the LeoCoin, is the technology is sound, the wallets work, the Atomic wallet works, the MEW rather wallet works, other exchange wallets works, mobile phone wallets are working. It just fits together nicely. It all kind of clicks. There's none of this technical hassle of having to understand a whole new thing. If you can use any Ethereum wallet, then you can use a wallet that makes LeoCoin work on it as well. If you need guides, if you need help, then everything is on the LeoCoin website for you to follow. All the FAQs, I think they're translated into certainly French and Mandarin. And there's people there to help you. There's Marios, who's superb on emails and superb at support, and our entire support team knows what they're doing. So if you haven't migrated yet, make sure you do, because I believe the window for migration is closing. We want to obviously make sure it's done. We want to help all of the exchanges that trade LeoCoin move over as well. So from memory, and I may have the date not exactly right, but from memory, we launched the update in March, and we said there'd be a 6-month window, which means sort of sometime in October, you won't be able to migrate your old LeoCoins anymore. Now, we'll obviously help if there's any special cases. We'll obviously help as best we can. But just if you haven't migrated your coins from LeoCoin 2 to LeoCoin 3, then, well, sort it out. You know what you're doing. You've got plenty of time between now and then to sync your wallets. You've got plenty of time to work out what you need to do. Don't come to us in October and say you couldn't switch over. It was too tricky. Bear in mind, this is only relevant for people who hold their wallets, who hold their LeoCoin on their personal external wallets. If you hold them on the Leo back office or on an exchange like Livecoin, then don't worry at all. They'll be migrated for you. The other thing I advise for those of you who still aren't staking yet, go to reward.leocoin.org, stake your rewards. You might as well. It's part of the program. It's part of the process to encourage people to hold those 1,000, 5,000, 50,000 coins. It really is something that was a wonderful thing that we launched a little while ago. And it was a wonderful thing that we launched a little while ago. And we're really delighted with how the staking has helped to encourage people who hold LeoCoin to get more, has encouraged people to have the right approach to how they manage their LeoCoin portfolio. Just a heads up, I do catch up with the questions that are written as we go, and I've got a couple around here about people who've lost their passwords. I mean, I obviously can't do much about that on this call, but if you contact support, they are wonderful, wonderful people, and I'm sure they'd be happy to help you. Very well. Right, Jeff, what's the next one? Oh, it's the bank holiday coming up. Oh, lovely. So for those of you who aren't in the UK, and as I look down the call, well, that's most of you, Monday is a bank holiday. I dare say, well, I think we still will be doing this webinar. So please tune in at the right time. We won't take the day off for that. However, the UK office won't be open Anyone who works in the UK probably won't be that active on emails or WhatsApp or Facebook or Skype or any of the other million other ways that I get to communicate with everybody. And so don't feel like you're being ignored if you don't get much of a response from anyone on Monday the 26th. However, we will still do this webinar call next week. So yeah, I mean, this call to action is kind of obvious. But I think the theme that I'd like to leave you with is 10-10-10 is growing. Every week, more people are joining. Some regions are tearing ahead with it like you would not believe. Some regions are a little bit slower, but you know what? It takes different time for different people to work out what's going on. What we do have right now is a bit of momentum building up. The numbers growing all the time. More and more people doing it. For every 10 you joined, at least 1 or 2 will eventually get to an LMS exchange or to gold or to platinum or something. And so it's a great filtering process. You get people very easily who are interested in the business. They join because, well, you know, why wouldn't you join? It's an easy thing to do. It doesn't cost anything. It's a straightforward free sign up. And then you put them through the program, put them through the Discover Leo, put them through an introduction to the business. And guess what? Before you know it, that 10 has become 5 people who are excited. That 5 has become 3 people who have gone bronze. 3 people have gone, of those 3, a couple have gone platinum. And before you know it, one of those 2 is your next director in your team. It's kind of that process that Dan's always been trying to build with his business. It's that sort of get the right people in your team, give them a filter through, and see what you can do with them. What we want to do, as I said at the start of the thing when I jumped off, is build our numbers, build our members, build our teams in a run up to that penultimate, second to last weekend in September. And there you'll hear from Dan. You hear about what's coming next, and you hear about what we can do to turn the corner on the business, what we can do to change where things have been to now, and what we can do to make all of your businesses bigger than they ever were before. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's been a quick one. It's kind of a mid-August webinar. As I said, you're on Eid, having summer holidays, having a great time. I hope you've had lovely breaks if you've been away. Dan will be back next week for the bank holiday, and we'll talk more there. And I think next week we're going to start to reveal a little bit more about what's coming later on in September. So it's certainly one not to miss. Have a great day, and I can't wait to speak to you all and see you all soon.